have you ever been in a conversation and just got a feeling that you're missing something? Like there's a secret message hiding just under the surface? Well, you're not wrong. There is. Conversation is basically a game, and today we are going to learn its unwritten rules. And it all kicks off with one really weird sentence. So here's our first clue. Just imagine you ask your friend how their lunch is, and this is what you get back. Oh, a sandwich is a sandwich? I mean, it sounds like it means absolutely nothing, right? Just a total throwaway line. Or is it?
But what if I told you that this sentence, which seems totally empty, is actually jam-packed with information? It is a perfect example of how we say so much more than the words we actually use. The real question is, how on earth do we figure out what it means?
To crack this code, we have to understand the number one rule of the entire game. It's called the cooperative principle. And believe me, it is the foundation for pretty much every single conversation you have. So this big idea comes from a philosopher named Paul Grace. And what he figured out was that for conversations to even work, we have to start with the assumption that everyone is trying to play along, that we're all trying to be understood. We sort of silently agree to cooperate to make sense to each other. It's like this invisible handshake that happens before you even start talking.
Okay, so here's the crucial part. This main principle isn't just one giant rule. Nope. It's actually built on 4 smaller, really specific rules that Grace called maxims. But for our game today, let's call them our rule cards.
And here they are. These 4 cards are basically your secret decoder ring for conversation. Once you know them, I promise you are going to start seeing this game being played absolutely everywhere. Let's check out our first card.
All right, rule card number 1 is the maxim of quantity. We'll just give it a nickname, enough. The rule is pretty simple. Give the right amount of information for the situation, but no more. Don't be super brief, but also don't go on and on and on. For instance, if someone asks you, where do you live? A great answer is, on Main Street. But if you just say, in a house, well, that breaks the rule. It's just not enough information. And on the flip side, giving your entire mailing address, a detailed history of the property, and the names of all your neighbors, that's way, way too much. It's all about finding that perfect sweet spot. Next up, our second card, the maxim of quality, or as we'll call it, truth. Now this one is probably the most straightforward of them all. Don't lie. Don't say things you know are false or that you can't back up. Just be truthful. Super simple, right? If your friend asks if you saw that new blockbuster movie and you did, saying, yeah, saw it last night, follows the rule perfectly. But saying, nope, never heard of it when you literally just walked out of the theater, well, you just broke the rule of truth.
Our third card is the maxim of relation, and its nickname is on topic. This rule says that what you add to the conversation should actually be relevant to what's being discussed. Don't just randomly change the subject. Stay on point.
Imagine someone says, it's such a beautiful day, we should really go for a walk. A relevant on-topic reply would be, great idea, let me just grab my shoes. But a reply like, I need to buy some milk, that seems to break the rule, doesn't it? It's completely off topic. Or is it? Just keep this example in the back of your mind. Sometimes breaking a rule is exactly how you play the game.
And finally, our last card, number 4, is the maxim of manner. Its nickname is clear. Now this one isn't about what you say, it's all about how you say it. Be clear. Don't be intentionally confusing or ambiguous. Make it easy for the other person to get what you're saying.
So, for example, instead of saying, the cylindrical aluminum container of carbonated sweetened liquid is resting upon the wooden structure, you just say, the soda can is on the table. See the difference? One is clear and direct, the other is just deliberately confusing. It completely breaks the clear rule.
Okay, we've got our 4 rule cards: enough, truth, on topic, and clear. Now we've got the tools. It is time to go back to our very first mystery and finally solve the case of the sandwich.
Here it is again. You ask a friend for their opinion on the food they're eating, and they hit you with this line. Now we know they're trying to cooperate, so they must be communicating something important.
So, let's lay out our 4 rule cards. The speaker was asked to give an evaluation. Was it good? Was it bad? Tasty? Awful? But they didn't. Looking at our rules, which one are they obviously breaking?
If you guessed the maxim of quantity, you are 100% right. They are breaking the enough rule. The statement, a sandwich is a sandwich, is what's called a tautology. It gives us 0 new information. It's nowhere near as informative as the situation called for.
And because we're still assuming they're cooperating, we automatically look for a hidden meaning behind this rule break. And that hidden meaning has a name. It's called an implicature. The implicature here is pretty clear. This sandwich is completely unremarkable. It is so aggressively average that it's not even worth talking about. And boom, just like that, case solved.
All right, now that you're basically a conversational detective, it's time to put your new skills to the test. I'm going to give you a quick dialogue, and your job is to figure out which rule is being bent to create that hidden meaning.
Okay, here's the scene. Person A asks, "Are you coming to the party tonight?" And person B replies with, "My parents are in town." Now hold on, that's not a yes, and it's not a no, is it?
So which rule card is getting played here? Is it quantity, the enough rule, quality, the truth rule, relation, the on-topic rule, or manner, the clear rule? Take a second, think it over.
The answer is the maxim of relation. On the surface, my parents are in town seems totally random, right? It's off topic. But because we assume person B is still cooperating, our brains automatically fill in the blanks. The implication is, my parents are here, which means I have to spend time with them, which means, no, I can't come to the party. It's amazing how much we can say without saying it, just by breaking one little rule. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today. We went from a really weird sandwich to solving a conversational puzzle. The biggest takeaway? Conversation isn't random at all. It's a game with a very clear, if invisible, set of rules.
And those rules are our 4 maxims. Quantity, which is all about giving just enough information. Quality, which is just telling the truth. Relation, which means staying on topic. And manner, being as clear as you can be. And remember, when these rules get broken, it is almost always a sign to start looking for a hidden meaning. So the next time you're talking with someone, remember the game. Don't just hear the words that are being spoken. Pay attention to the rules, and especially to those moments when the rules get bent or broken. Because if you really want to understand what someone means, you have to learn to listen to what isn't being said.